talk about how your diet, the things that you eat, affect your mental health, affect your relationships, your suppression of your emotions, all of these sorts of things that are to do with your mental health. And it's no wonder that, you feel a dip in your energy after you eat something a bit more sugary. And then following that dip in energy, you feel like there's more thoughts that come up, negative thoughts that come up. Because it makes sense, right? You're all high, you're on this rise, the glucose, the sugar's going to you, you're all high in energy, you're happy, you're living, you're enjoying yourself. But once you come to that peak, you're at that peak stage, and then you start slowly going down, and you're speaking to your colleague, you're speaking to your friend, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I just feel like really, really tired all of a sudden, I just don't want to do anything right now. And it would make sense, but following that is these thoughts would come up like, oh, I just feel lazy, I don't want to do anything right now. And then a thought comes in your mind like, oh, I even skipped the gym the other day, and I've been a bit lazy recently. Like, it's affecting you, and that thought then is like almost confirmed. It's like you get hung up on that thought just because of like this dip in energy. And this isn't always the case, but like the more dips, the spikes you're gonna have, the more glucose spikes you're gonna have, the more dips you're gonna have, and then throughout the day your mood is gonna follow these dips and these spikes, right? So you want to lessen, or at least reduce, the amount that you're spiking and dipping with throughout the day, your glucose, your sugar, because when we're tired, when we have these spikes, we're having really good conversations, and everyone might love you in their moments. But then when you're on that dip, when we're tired, we're lethargic, we have more negative thoughts, and we're more irritable, we're more likely to be emotional and have arguments with our significant others, our co-workers, our friends, and it's just not a good human during their moments when we're tired, when we haven't had enough sleep or whatever. But even though we've had good sleep, say, just because of these spikes, these dips, it makes us feel really good because of the dopamine, the sugar rush, and then all of a sudden we just feel really bad, and our mental health follows that. And that can affect our relationships, our emotions, like, because we're more emotional, and especially if we're men, we're more likely to suppress our emotions, because we're told not to show our emotions. It's not that we can't show our emotions, it's that we need to be productive with them rather than suppressing them, because that can show up in our lives in different ways. There are certain foods that, like whole foods, chicken, the broccoli, the vegetables, the fruit, chocolate, walnuts, like, they can make us feel really good. But let me get onto the chocolate. The chocolate is only good, it can only make us feel good within the moments from low to a moderate amount of chocolate, because it's not too much. We're not getting that massive boost of sugar, the massive boost, or the ups and the downs. We feel really good within that moment, and we're not getting that massive dip. But if we eat too much, then this can lead. This is with anything that's like sugary and filled with sugar and not really that good for us, that should be consumed in small portions, is that it can really negatively affect our mindset, or our mental health, because it can make us feel anxious, it can give us depressing thoughts, overthink, doubt ourselves. And that's just because of that spike. We feel really good, and then all of a sudden we get this dip in energy and in feeling, and the satisfaction that we get out of life. It can really affect us in their moments if we're over consuming on these things. For a big part of my life, I didn't take the dietary side of things seriously. I was going to the gym, I was trying to stay consistent with the gym, but even then I had them times where I would just binge eat, I would overconsume, I would have these anxious thoughts, I would regret having that food soon as it touched my mouth, as soon as I would have that chocolate bar, and overindulge in that. As soon as it happened, I could feel regret and doubt and anxious thoughts all come up within that moment, and then the next day and the week after you just feel shit, your workouts are shit, you skip the gym maybe, and it just affects you and ruins your future self, just because you were craving, or you were, in that moment you wanted to overindulge because you've been working so hard recently, but you don't understand that your body is just craving something else, but you just find it in anything because you just get these mad cravings that make you want to eat everything and anything. It's whatever you pick up, and if you've got that in your house, if you keep sweets and sugary snacks in your house, then it's going to be the first thing that you're going to choose, because it's the easiest thing, it's the easiest option, it's tasty, it's nice, it's going to give you this rush of dopamine, this sugar rush, but as soon as you eat it, you will regret it, you will have doubts, you will have anxious thoughts. And it makes sense with why I couldn't stay consistent and why I never got the body that I wanted for so long, because I couldn't stay consistent. I couldn't control my emotions. I was suppressing my emotions by eating too much food, because I got a bit emotional, I got a bit stressed, and then I would overeat, and then I'd get more anxious and more doubtful and more stressed just because of how I was eating. And then the day after, the week after, my workouts were rubbish, I would skip the gym, and it just led to more disaster. It spiraled out of control. And then that would spiral into me being more harsh on myself, thinking I'm lazy, thinking that I'm never going to get to where I want to be. And then I would take that out on my relationships, my partners, my friends, I would be more aggressive, I wouldn't speak to people, in my co-workers. Like, it would affect me in so many ways, just because of how I was eating, how I didn't realise how sensitive I was to food, and how much food affects us, our mental health especially. Because it's not that it affects us, physically, like it can change our body massively, because if you're having 1,000 calories of sugar, or you're having 1,000 calories of just chicken, you're going to feel different, aren't you? You're going to have more energy, you're going to have less spikes in energy, you're going to be more consistent if you're just having the chicken. Like, this is just an example, no one's just having chicken, but yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. Like, you're going to be more consistent, you're gonna feel more energized, you're gonna have better thoughts, you're gonna think better, more logically, productive, all these benefits. And we know this, but it's like we need to be told and told again, and we need to force ourselves into a routine of healthy eating, or a diet that's healthy eating, that's whole foods, because we know the benefits, we know what it does for us, we know what it does for our mental health, our physical health, but it's the habits that we need to get rid of the junk food, of the the chocolate, the sweets, whatever, because it gets to a certain point when you don't have like processed sugar. The first 3 days is really hard, you get so many cravings, but then after that 3 days or the 5 days, that the cravings are completely gone. If you're eating purely just chicken, broccoli, potatoes, some yogurt, whatever, a bit of honey, maybe dark chocolate to get that. That's what I do anyways. The dark chocolate, I really like dark chocolate compared to normal chocolate. I actually prefer dark chocolate now compared to normal chocolate, just because of how it makes me feel, and I'm still getting that chocolate taste in my mouth, even though it's a bit more bitter. I just love that. But if we're eating more whole foods, we're going to have better thoughts, we're going to think better, we're going to be more productive. We know this, but it's about getting into the habit, the routine of eating the more whole foods, and just making meals for yourself that are so easy, they're so quick, that are tasty, that you enjoy doing. Because I've had meals that are relatively tasty, but they're not, and they're healthy, but it's not for me. It's just not with my taste buds. But I can eat eggs, cheese, and avocado every single day, because I just love the taste of all of them together. But with chicken, broccoli, and potatoes, I struggle to eat that, even though maybe that is a little bit nicer, or a little bit healthier, or I'm getting more protein. Like the eggs, the the cheese, the avocado just works for me. And that's what you need to do, is find them meals within your life that have the macronutrients that you need, that have the the protein, the calories that you need within your life, and that will benefit you massively. It's so easy to stay consistent with the gym. It's so easy to stay consistent with my eating. I eat the same thing pretty much every day just because that is what I love to eat. It's just what my taste buds like. It's just what I've got used to. It's the habit that I'm into. It's quick. It's like 10 minutes, just cooking the eggs, 5-10 minutes. And like, that's perfect for me. That works for my lifestyle. It's quick, it's easy, it makes me feel good, makes me feel productive, my mind's clear, all these things. And yeah, like, diet is massive on how it affects your mental health and the way you're going to process your thoughts, your emotions, how you're going to show up in your relationships, how you show up with your co-workers, how much work you do, how productive you are. It's then with how productive you are, how you show up in relationships, that's going to improve your mental health as well. Like, if you're having better conversations, if you're being more open with your friends, your relationships, partners, your co-workers, that's going to affect your mental health as well. That's going to benefit you massively with your mental health and the gym, everything, just because of how you're eating. The energy that you have throughout the day is consistent. You don't always need coffee because of how consistent your energy is. You know that you're just on like a nice easy wave throughout the day. You don't need as much coffee. I drink one coffee in the morning before my workout, and then that's it. The rest of the day I don't need coffee because I'm just on a constant like high then until the nighttime comes, until bedtime comes. And that never used to be the case. I was drinking 4, 5, 6 cups of coffee at one point just because I was trying to find the energy, and that was because of my diet. That was because of the way I was eating, the amount of carbs that I was eating. I was, the sugar that I was eating, consuming. I was just not enjoying myself throughout the day. That's how satisfied I was with my life. I wasn't satisfied at all, and that came from the amount of dopamine they were fried from the amount of like sugar, the food that I was eating. Like, I was getting so much enjoyment from this food, I couldn't stay away. But then I implemented fasting and time restricted feeding, and it allowed me to control my eating habits. It allowed me to be able to choose the healthy foods because I started to enjoy them foods, like fruit, like just the simple foods, the whole foods I really enjoy. But I couldn't bring myself to do that at one point because I just didn't enjoy that because I was getting so much enjoyment from that sugar. But you have to come away from that to realise how much it's destroying your mental health, how much it's affecting you, your energy, your productivity. You have to, like, the fasting has really helped me with, you have to come away from something to realise how it's affecting you. Because I've, like, that, the period of time where you're restricting yourself from food, like, you appreciate food so much more. The food just tastes nicer, because you've gone so long. Like, I did a 48-hour fast. Because you've gone so long without food, your taste buds are just heightened. The taste of like just even like a fucking strawberry, brother, it's just sensational on your tongue. It's like a fucking orgasm in your mouth. And yeah, it's just, there's nothing like it. Like, I'm not serious on fasting, but I think it was a tool that I needed to use to control my eating habits, to make me realize how much I love fruit, how much I love the simple foods, the whole foods, to control my cravings. I'm able to control my cravings because I can go 48 hours on a fast. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And then you realize on a fast that how clear your mind is, how productive you are, how much energy you've got when you're not eating. And you realize how when you do eat, your actually energy dips when you eat because of this because of the process of digesting food. It's a big, it's a big system within our body. Our body's going through something when we're consuming food, and that takes energy. So you start to realize all these little details within yourself when you come away from something that's just, it's been part of your life every day since you've been born. And you don't realize how it affects you until you come away from something. Just like, you come away from social media, just like you come away from porn, all these different things. You don't realize what it does to you or for you until you come away from it. You don't realize how much you miss someone until you break up with them. Yeah? So use these tools that are about to help you within these moments, to control yourself, to control your habits, your cravings, your emotions, how you feel, how you show up in your relationships. Because diet is a massive thing that I was never in control of. And once I took control of that, then everything else started falling into place. I started having better conversations. I started having better workouts, more energy throughout the day. I was able to eat less, lose weight around my midsection, which is something that I've always wanted to do, because I've never been, I feel like, just because of how big I was, I've got loose skin because of the stretch marks. Like, they're really tightening up now because my body is getting better at burning that type of fat. It's not using the glucose that's stuck in my muscles, that's fueling my muscles, because I'm fasted when I'm working out. It's using the fat that's already on me. So yeah, hope this one helps, boys. Love you.